call me Mystic Mac because I predict these things.
Marvin Vettori takes on Brendan Allen this Saturday on the prelims of UFC 318. And this is going to be a fun fight at 185 pounds. You know, both of these guys had pretty successful careers in the UFC. Marvin Vettori, been in the UFC since 2016. He's fought for a belt against Israel Adesanya. And, has some decent wins. Kevin Holland win, Paulo Costa, Roman Kopylov. So, only losses that he has are to really good guys: Kopylov, Cannonier, Whitaker, Adesanya. So, lost Adesanya twice, actually. But, Brendan Allen, he's only 29 years old, so still in his prime, or barely into his prime. Coming off of 2 losses, but it's against Anthony Hernandez and Nassourdine Imavov by decision. Has some good wins over Chris Curtis, Paul Craig, Andre Muniz. Lost to Chris Curtis back in the day, but recently won against him in a 5-round fight. Lost to Sean Strickland by punches. So both these guys very talented, and both fairly young. Marvin Vettori, you would think that he'd be older than he is, but he's only 31. So both these guys in their prime. But Brendan Allen is 6'2" with a 75-inch reach, and Marvin Vettori is 6 foot with a 74-inch reach. So pretty much the same frame on these guys. Marvin Vettori, he's a southpaw. Throws 1-2 combos, good leg kicks, decent takedown defense, 69%. He hasn't had the most success as of late. Like I said, coming off of 2 losses, he's 1-3 in his last 4 fights, spanning back to September of 2022. Took a little bit of time off in between the Jared Cannonier fight and his most recent fight against Roman Kopylov, losing both of those by decision. So he's hard to get out of there. His only losses are by decision. Just got a big old head on him, probably one of the best chins in the game. He's taken a lot of damage from Jared Cannonier in that fight, and he couldn't get taken out of there. And Brendan Allen, pretty good boxing. He's got really good jiu-jitsu as well. Very high level submission artist on the ground, but good striking with good kicks, shoots good takedowns to mix it up. Polished striker, I would say, very well rounded. Can suffer cardio issues though that we've seen. We've kind of seen him laying on the mats, shooting bad takedowns against who was it? Was it Chris Curtis in their fight? But he kind of squeaked out. I think he would have lost that fight if Curtis wouldn't have hurt himself at the end of that 5th round. But I'm going to go with Brendan Allen in this one. I just think he's got more ways to win this fight. Marvin Vettori, he's kind of rudimentary. He's looking to just, throw 1-2s, throw leg kicks on the feet. He's got a tough chin that he relies on a lot to kind of keep him in fights. Decent takedown defense, but I just don't think that there's anything that Marvin Vettori does that's eye-opening or, really makes me take notice. Obviously he's got some good wins, but just as of late, I just don't feel like he's evolving. It's kind of the same Vettori that we see in each fight. And I just think Brendan Allen is going to be able to game plan a little bit better than him. I think he'll be able to, get a lot of respect on the feet, putting a lot of pressure on him, shooting takedowns, looking to get to the ground and submit him. I just think Brendan Allen's the better athlete overall. I think he's got more ways to win, and I just think he's the more complete martial artist. I'm concerned about, Brendan Allen's not the biggest hitter, doesn't have the most power in the world, but I am concerned about Marvin Vettori's chin. Just because, he took a lot of damage in that Jared Cannonier fight. He didn't look the same against Roman Kopylov. I picked against him in that fight, and, Roman Kopylov just kind of, was kind of able to win wherever that fight went, and I just don't see a lot of momentum or confidence going into this fight for Marvin Vettori. He did fight back in March. Brendan Allen fought Anthony Hernandez back in February. Went to a decision with him, but Anthony Hernandez is very good. So is Nassourdine Imavov. I think Imavov could be a future champ if he keeps going the way that he's going. I think he's fighting Kyle Baralio next, isn't he? Yeah, he's fighting him in September. But I think Imavov is, very good fighter. I just think Brendan Allen's just a little bit better than Marvin Vettori. Vettori does have good cardio. I think that's one thing that we got to take into consideration here is, can he out cardio and kind of just wear on Brendan Allen, defending his takedowns, landing some good shots. But I think Brendan Allen, he's just going to be a little bit more complete, a little bit more of a well-rounded fighter in this one. I think he's going to do enough to get the decision in this one. I don't know if he'll choke out Marvin Vettori. I think he can if he can get takedowns and wear on him. But like I said, Vettori's hard to get out of there. But Brendan Allen, he's minus 230. I get that, I wouldn't be surprised if Vettori can kind of just keep it standing and, land his 1-2s, leg kicks, move well, keep moving laterally to win rounds. But I do think Brendan Allen gets this one done by decision. Thanks.